Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sandra Olivera, and I'm a national contact point here at VINNOVA, and I will guide you through this afternoon. So on behalf of VINNOVA, I would like to wish you all very welcome and to the seminar about the possibilities of funding possibilities within Horizon 2020, and especially within the societal challenge number 6, Europe in a changing world, inclusive, innovative and reflective societies. Today, we almost have a full house, and it's a pleasure to have you all here. And in particular, I would like to say a special welcome to Dr. Simon Schunz from the European Commission that will later on present the work program of this challenge. But I would also like to send a special welcome to all of our web viewers that are following us online. If you want to Twitter, then we have a hashtag also, which is, you see it on the screen, it's VIH2020. So if you have any questions or anything, you can tweet them, or you can send me an email and I will reply to you after this meeting. Just some practical information before we start. And this is the program of today, so I will just shortly give you a brief introduction about VINNOVA and about the framework program. And then I will pass the word on to Dr. Simon Schunz from the European Commission that will then present the work program. And to finish, we will have Marianne Wikgren from the Swedish Research Council telling us about the work that has been done from the Swedish side about preparing this work program. Unfortunately, we don't have Eva Minör with us today. She's sick, so she won't be here, but I will show you a picture of her so you know who she is also later on. So, just to briefly tell you about VINNOVA, we are, perhaps some of you already know this, but VINNOVA is the Swedish governmental agency for innovation systems. And well, our main task is to promote sustainable growth in Sweden and fund needs-driven research. We have an annual budget of about 2 billion crowns, Swedish crowns. And for that, well, we finance different programs and different projects. We are about 200 people working here in Stockholm, in our office. And, but we also have an office in Brussels, which works mainly then with EU-related issues. So VINNOVA has 3 roles to play in the world and in the innovation system mainly. So we are, of course, we are a funding and research. We're a funding agency. We fund, so to say, research and innovation projects. We are also an expert agency towards the government. We give advice and provide them with different types of analysis when needed. And we have a third mission also, and that is that we are the national EU contact agency in Sweden. And that means to be the national contact agency means that, for instance, you can find here at VINNOVA different types of support for EU programs. So we, VINNOVA has most of the different of the national contact points for the Horizon 2020. Some of them are also in other agencies, as for instance in the Swedish Research Council, but most of them are located here at VINNOVA. But besides besides us at VINNOVA and the Swedish Research Council, you can receive support free of charge. That's important to mention, on different levels and by different types of helpers, so to say. So if you are from a university, you can always turn to your grant office at the university for help and for advice. If you're a small company, small, medium-sized company, then you can also turn to the Enterprise Europe Network, sorry, the EEN. And as I mentioned, then on national level, well, we have the national contact points here at VINNOVA, some of them at the Swedish Research Council, and we also have 2 support offices on national level, especially dedicated to help small and medium-sized enterprises. This is especially also for the small and medium-sized enterprises, and I'm saying this because I know that some of you here today comes from this private business area. So there is, well, VINNOVA has a planning grant for small and medium-sized enterprises that want to prepare an application for Horizon 2020. And you apply directly through our Intressentportal at vinnova.se. And it's a call that is constantly open. And the contact person, if you're interested to know more, of course, you have information on our website. But the contact person for this is Karin Åse, and you have her contact details on the slide. So now back to more concrete information. So the national contact points, as I mentioned, I'm such a person, and I'm especially then national contact point for this area, the Europe in a Changing World. So, but I'm not alone. I'm working here at VINNOVA, but to my help, and we're a team of 3 people. So there is also Eva Minör. So she sits in the Swedish Research Council. And then we have Cecilia Odelstierna, and she's from Forte. So the 3 of us, we are the national contact points for this area. Just to give you a brief idea about the framework program and the role it plays in the Swedish research system and research funding system. And here we have done a comparison of the available funds that exist in Sweden, besides the money directly going directly to the universities, of course. But as you can see, the former framework program, so FP7 or Framework Program 7, it was quite an important source of funding for Swedish researchers. So we have the Swedish Research Council, of course, with almost 5,000 million Swedish crowns as annual budget. And then in a second place, we have the money coming from the framework program. This is a picture just to give you an idea of how the Swedish researchers or the Swedish participants managed to compete in the European context. Actually, we are in a 9th place compared to other countries in total when you see how much money Swedish participants managed to contract. And we have a success rate of about 23%. Compared to the EU average, it's 21%, so it's actually higher than the EU average. And yes, on the map you can also see, well, where the highest participation lies in Sweden, mainly concentrated to the big city areas, so to say, and where we have the big universities. So now, before I pass on the word to the European Commission, I would just like to give you a short overview about the different priorities of Horizon 2020, of the structure of the program. I suppose that if you're here today, you're already familiar with the structure of the program. But as you know, well, it's the new framework program from the European Commission. It has a total budget of about 20 billion euros, and it will run for 7 years. So the picture here shows the main structure. It's structured around 3 priorities. So it's excellent science. So mainly the main aim here is to, of course, raise the level of excellence in Europe, of the level of science base, and to make Europe an attractive location for researchers. So within this priority, you can, for instance, find the grants, ERC grants, the European Research Council grants, and the Marie Curie, for instance, are placed in this priority. The second priority is the industrial leadership, and that is where you can say the business sets the agenda. So it's the business needs that drives the agenda of this priority. And the third priority is the societal challenges. And this is where we have our challenge also. So the third priority, the main aim is to cover actions and the research, from research to market solutions, so to say, so the whole spectrum. And of course, it's challenge driven, so it's more of a problem-solving approach, so to say. And it's there are 7 areas, and I will mention them just to let you know. So the first area is the health, demographic change, and well-being. Then you have European bioeconomy challenges. You have secure and clean and efficient energy, smart, green and integrated transport, climate action, and then we have our area, then inclusive, innovative and reflective societies. And the 7th area is the secure societies. And with that,